what do we have to discuss other than welcome Beth and Stacy
Thank you.
to the chaos.
I think what we need to discuss too, honestly, is to
Honestly, because usually I'm not. But okay.
you're big,
This time we'll go honestly.
is conflict of interest and how we're gonna deal with that. Because I've had people mention that to me.
Don't we have a conflict of interest policy?
Right,
You're in
so
conflict,
it's
you
just
recuse
not,
yourself.
yes,
This is- we always
exactly.
have. I mean, if something with one of my clients, I say, I can't participate in this.
So, but I think we have to decide what is. So like, if it is for Stacy, if it has to do,
Personnel raises and things like that, because her husband is a,
right, but
Right.
does it have to do with anything having to do with, I'm not talking construction. I'm talking any personnel like on evaluations, because we're getting ready to do evaluations on everyone. Does Stacy recuse herself from Trevor's evaluation?
no, not from Trevor.
Not from Trevor.
No, Trevor,
Maybe from
Trevor,
Dustin.
Trevor evaluates Dustin, isn't that?
We may not want her to honestly
Yeah.
say what she wants to say about Dustin.
Listen,
But
just because this is involved my apartment, I mean, I'm fine either way. It don't, I mean, does not matter, because at the end of the day, executive session is executive session, you can't leave the room.
Right, other departments doing evaluations within their department, because I know like the police usually do that. Yeah, they do their own. So I thought the departments do it within the department, so we won't be evaluating Dusty, we'll be evaluating Trevor.
No, but would Stacy's, and I'm just
Oh,
saying
no,
this.
I understand completely, yeah.
Would
please do.
Stacy's idea of what Trevor is doing at the job be
Well, we can't hold that
Shaded.
against Trevor.
yes, we
by,
can.
shaded by Dusty's experience, and is that fair and equitable?
Well, I think you have to come to the table not bringing any baggage
Right.
with you,
Case
like
by
we do
case.
for tax appeals. Doesn't matter if I know you or what's going on, you cannot bring any of that to the table. That's my feeling.
Just a second, Trevor.
Well, I mean.
Since it's your department.
Well, absolutely, and that's why I would respect any and all input Stacy would give me. I don't know if this is kind of what you're going at. Like I said, I'm okay.
Okay,
You know, and
I'm
I
just,
feel
you
Well,
know,
confident
Stacy might actually have good insight for Trevor.
Absolutely, absolutely. But, and if it's an evaluation, it's executive session anyway, and it has to stay in here, it can't
Right.
leave. And if it leaves, then we know where it went.
Right.
So I don't have, my personal opinion, I'm okay.
I'm not gonna recuse myself from Scott.
That makes sense.
no,
No,
Well, since he's ex, if
Never
you're
have.
still married to him, then it might be a different
no,
story.
it would absolutely be a
But
different
anyway,
story, but yes.
I think that we can, I think we can handle this as adults.
Yeah.
And we can say, okay, if we think there's a conflict, then speak up and say, here's what we suggest we do. And I
Good
think-
idea to bring it up, though.
I think we have to.
Well, that's
I think
fine.
it comes up on a
But I
case
don't
by
think it's
case.
something that we can make a blanket policy
No,
right
it's case
now.
by case like it always has been.
And if we have a situation and we talk it over, I think that we're all adults here, then we can talk it through if we have to. Is that fair?
Yeah, and I had already honestly decided that if I have something, you know, like the access permits or the liquor permit, I'll just go down there. I'll just move myself down there out of this seat till I'm done doing what I'm doing.
Okay,
Or whatever else might come up that I do here, cemetery, whatever.
Okay, we don't need a vote on that, do we? Kate?
No,
Okay,
no.
thank
No,
you.
did
But
you want to
we-
put the actual, it says discussion of elections, did you want to put you said welcome, do we want, well, they're up on the website, I don't know if you
What,
wanted
the
to.
numbers?
Do
read
we
out.
want to put them in the record?
Yeah, I didn't know if you wanted to read out the numbers just to say how it worked out.
And the total voters, I think, is under that story. You might pull it out if you want
The,
that.
the total number of voters was 336. We found the one that we were in question last night, or Alex found it. So it is, everything jives. For the select board for 2 years, Dean Giannotti Jr. got 67. Beth got 263, 5 overvotes, 1 blank, for a total of 336. Stacy, for the 1 year select board position, got 234 votes. Jeff Yates got 76. There were 5 write-ins, one for Bill Schwartz, one for Dean Giannotti Jr., one for Paul Molinelli, and 1 overvote. I guess they voted twice on one, and 20 blanks for number 336. So those were the results of the election.
Does Lucia need that for her notes? Do you want to
Hey,
borrow that for your notes?
Did you have a copy?
I do not.
I could send you one.
Okay, great.
Yeah, we'll get to it.
Al sent that out.
And we also took the oaths for record last night, so we're.
All right, so I guess, unless there's anything, anyone else wants to discuss about the election, we will move on to election of select board chair and vice chair. Do I have a motion?
I make a motion that we keep as is, Stuart the chair, and do we need to do each one individually? No, and Bill the vice chair is what I would
I second.
motion.
Okay, motion been made and seconded. Any discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Thank you for your confidence. All right, approve board meeting dates and times, which this is all a rehash. I didn't realize we had to do all this, but I guess the state says we do. At this time, we're doing the first and third Wednesday of the month at 5:30 p.m. Does that work for you new guys?
Yes.
We had kind of changed it slightly,
Yes, for
which,
me.
but does that still work for you?
Yeah, it's great,
Okay.
5:30 is great.
So if that is okay, can I get a motion for that?
Can I just ask one question about
Yes.
that? Do you normally do it on holiday weeks? Because I might be a little bit late if that's the case. Does that,
It depends on when the holiday is in the
Okay.
week,
all right, fair.
but
Right, we'll just, as
but
it comes.
but if
yeah.
something happens and you can't be there, we got 5 now, so
Okay,
you can,
okay, just
you
wanted
can
to
be
put
here
it
as
out
soon as you
there.
can.
Yeah.
Yep, okay.
So,
Just wanted to make you aware of that.
no, that's, well, I mean, there are, once in a while, I have to be late too.
Right,
Me
because,
too.
Okay, all right.
So it happens.
Well, next meeting you won't be at. You're
I
gonna
won't be
away.
here next meeting, I
Right.
will be in Alaska,
Right.
and I'm gonna miss the cookout. Thanks.
Wow.
But anyway, so is first and third Wednesday of the month at 5:30, can I get a motion for that?
So
Make a-
moved.
Okay, motion was made and seconded,
I'll second, yeah.
all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Okay. While we're, I'm just gonna move around just a little bit, because Bill may have to leave early for some personal stuff.
I'm gonna try to push it. but
Well, I
see
know,
what happens.
but appointments. We have Pound Keeper, which is Pat
Pat
Salo,
Salo.
is that correct? Lucia? Lucia, that's Lucia, this is Lucia.
Yes, I think so.
Yes.
Okay, and then Animal Control Officer is Pat. I'm listed as Tree Warden. Town Surface Officer is Beth, I believe.
Yes.
Wyndham Regional Commission Representatives. One was Mrs.
It's
Yates.
Cheryl and Eric.
Yep,
No, not
Cheryl,
Mrs. Yates.
Was it? Oh,
No.
No, it's Cheryl Carmella
okay, I'm sorry.
and Eric Moses.
Okay.
Yes.
So I'm just going down the list, and if
Yeah.
we have a problem. Select Board members, any Select Board member can sign checks or pay orders between meetings.
So moved, yeah.
Town Health Officer, I guess it refers to me at this time.
yeah.
Museum Curator, is that you, Beth?
Yes.
Okay. Fire Warden, that's me. Cemetery Commissioner, are you the
That's me.
Cemetery
Yeah.
Commissioner? Communications Union District Representative.
That
You've been doing
was-
that? Do we need to do that anymore?
Yeah.
We do?
Yeah.
Okay. Mountain Town Recreation Committee Representative, do we have?
Lissa's
That's
been
also
doing
me.
it.
You've been doing that too?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
So the only thing that's not on there that we did not too long ago that was needed was the fence viewer.
Fence viewer,
And we said you would do that, we did appoint you to that, just so if we could include that.
Okay, so then we had Fence Viewer, which I
Yeah.
guess had my name on it. Okay, can I have a motion on these appointments, or if you have any changes you wanna make? I don't think there's anything changes to make at this time.
I make a motion to to accept all these appointments.
Second.
Motion made and seconded. Any discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Bang, got rid of that stuff. Okay.
Good. We got all our departments here, maybe we wanna get rid of some people.
Well, I'm sure that somebody's gonna say, oh, Derek's always first.
This is actually Derek's time.
Yeah, all right, come on, Derek. Let's let's
And he
get,
has to go protect and serve us, so.
Absolutely.
We
that's
don't
why.
want him to cry.
Very sensitive.
That is well.
evening, chief.
Good evening.
How you doing?
I'm good.
Did you print enough copies?
I did.
Okay, boy, you're right on this.
Take
Take care.
Pass it.
Have a good night, Dad.
Good, how are you?
Take one, you got it?
I'm glad it's a big font. It means not a lot of people have been arrested.
Okay, got anything special we should be looking at
Yeah,
tonight?
four of the guys just took part in a active shooter response, which included police fire and rescue down in Manchester. It's a free course that was put on for 2 days last week.
Who did that one?
Manchester Police.
No,
Police
what
Department.
officers, I think, is that what
Yeah.
you were asking?
Yeah.
It was Jake, Corey, Greg, and Reese.
Oh, cool.
Attended, yeah, Monday and Tuesday, I think it was last week. And they reported that it was very useful, and Corey actually
Hopefully we'll never need to use it.
was interested in becoming an instructor for it as well. So we're looking into that. You can see the arrests for the month. A couple DUIs, one with a DUI drug, one with a DUI alcohol, another excessive speed, and domestic assault arrest. Nothing else out of the ordinary. Haven's doing well on the road, kind of shadowing at the moment, and we'll start the full-time academy August 4th.
Wow, that's up the road a bit, huh?
Yeah, but we did put him through the level 2 class, so that he could get out and start working a little bit. Other than that, yeah.
You're all set with the equipment this year?
Yep.
Found and lost property?
Yeah, somebody
Yeah.
dropped something off,
Oh,
or somebody reports something lost.
huh.
Try to help them find it.
Okay. So are you getting any new cruisers this year?
We will get one cruiser this year. Yeah.
Okay, and that's already ordered?
No, not yet.
Okay,
No.
all right.
We did.
What are you
not-
getting? Are you getting a Chevy or Ford?
I think we'll probably end up going with Ford. The prices of the Chevys went up quite a bit.
Okay.
Last I looked.
Yeah,
So we'll look
and
at it.
considering the luck we've had that one so far.
Yeah, and the Ford's been pretty reliable.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
They can all break. It doesn't make any difference what brand, but I considering the major problems Chevrolet's having right now, I think we better stay away from it.
Yeah, but we skipped last year, so we didn't.
Okay,
use next year, so,
okay.
Yeah.
But that's in your budget.
Yeah.
Okay, good. Anybody else got any questions for Chief?
Nope.
Okay,
Thanks, guys.
thanks.
Thank you.
Scott, you're up.
Oh, yeah.
Solid waste.
Well, considering though this is not my normal night, I don't really have anything.
Okay.
It's the solid
Other
waste,
than,
it's the solid waste thing, that's why.
oh yeah, you do have to prove the sweat, but I also did want to just bring you up to speed. When you see the Casella bill, you will see that there is an upcharge in tipping fee and the trucking because they do a cost of living raise every year. This year they hit us for, I don't know what the hell it was, it doesn't matter. But you will see it if you have a question on it, that's why it's like that. I also contacted them because I can't make a load of clean cardboard, I just can't do it. I've tried now for almost.
So you still got people dumping trash in it?
Oh yeah, you can't stop them. And you know, you have Airbnb, you have people that are just visiting, what do they care? They don't care, they're not coming back here. And it's absolute zero tolerance. One thing, that's all it takes. So I called Randy DePron, who is the sales manager for our area, and I talked to him because currently we get hit with $154 a ton sort fee and then a $458 haul charge because it goes to Rutland, to the MRF. But because it's never clean, we get to $154. The commingle box, which is basically zero sort, is $154 a ton sort fee. Well, it's more than that now, but and then it's I believe that one's $248 for a haul charge, so I just said to him, I wanna amend the contract if we can, so that it's not clean cardboard, it's zero sort material, so it drops us back to the 200 and whatever haul charge, still
So-
54 sort.
So that's gonna be for your cardboard.
Yeah.
So you're not gonna change your
No, nothing
metal.
else is, and nothing's gonna change, because as I said to Meg and Brian, don't tell people that really you could zero sort in that cardboard, because, I mean, it's bad enough the
Then
amount
it's
of
gonna get
garbage I
worse.
get in the other one.
Yeah.
As you know, I'm almost silently keeping, the companies that make rubber buckshot and batons in business.
Bears.
We have a sow with 3 cubs, we have a sow with 2 cubs, and we have what I think is a sole male, probably a couple of years old, that I chase pretty much all day long, whack at them, chase them in the woods, do their thing. Bill and I did discuss a little bit about, because originally the yard was fenced in,
Right.
but people don't think too much when they think of fencing in the northeast. What do you do with the snow? And inevitably you knock fences down. Bill and I did kinda kick it around though about possibly re-fencing in the yard, but having gates that we could open for the winter time, leave them open and you plow through them. I'm gonna kinda I'll do some lineal footage measurements, kinda look things over, see if it's a feasible, because technically it is supposed to be fenced in, it's not supposed to be the way we have it, but in past, the fence just got annihilated because,
Wow,
You know,
but
yeah.
a gate's either a slider like in the front or
just something
opening
that we
gates.
can open up and that.
Because you have key positions that you push your snow.
Yep.
So you could
Yep.
do it. So
And
I
in
guess,
winter, the bears will be sleeping, so it's not.
Hopefully.
There you go. So,
Hopefully.
should
so I
be a
guess,
problem.
advise, let us know what you wanna do. and-
Yeah, I mean, I'm gonna, like I said, I'm gonna investigate a little bit more.
Okay.
Friday, it'll be Brian and I. Meg's gonna take the day off, so I'll probably wait till Saturday when she's there as well, and we'll do some linear
Measurements.
footage and where we're gonna go or whatever, so I get
Sure.
a better idea
Okay,
of, I'm gonna try this year not to light any fireworks off or any of that horse shit on the 4th of July in the station, cause every time I do it, I get in trouble, so I'm gonna try to.
well,
be-
why should we suddenly change that?
Well, I don't know, I thought now you got 2 new members on the board, maybe I should actually try to act like a decent employee and not be up there fool farting around, getting myself in trouble.
We've had one that's already said that they're not holding back on the
Well,
review.
you know,
so-
we do sit with you on another board at the fair, so, you know,
Okay,
Other than that,
Some water.
I do
Oh, no,
need you
thank you.
to approve the SWIFT, solid waste implementation plan.
Yeah, so one thing that jumped out at me, and it's
think
not
that's right there.
technical,
you don't have that yet,
Oh,
Stacy.
is
Sorry,
that
okay.
it says adopted July 2nd, 2025, and it only has the 3 of us
I
listed.
changed it's.
Oh, you
it's
have a new one
changed.
over there?
When you
Oh.
got it, like,
It's-
before
Yeah.
I knew who was.
Yeah, of course,
Right
I
here.
just
So-
knew you had to.
Yeah.
There you
So
go.
the one thing that,
What this is for the new ones.
no, why don't you do it for all of us?
Oh, okay. So your SWIFT plan is, it's just exactly how we run the station, how much tonnage we're allowed to have on site, when we ship, our hours of operation. It basically is the Bible of how that station is run,
And how it's permitted.
A to Z.
I mean,
what
isn't that
we-
basically what it is how it's permitted? Or is this our,
This is the permit.
This is not the permit.
Oh, it's not the
This
permit.
is, no,
This
this
is
is
just
how
our
we
written
manage
plan.
our.
Right, this is
Okay,
how
you have to
we
submit this to
manage.
get the permit,
Yes.
right, which we
Correct.
need, because otherwise we're
Correct.
screwed.
Right, and they're not, the state of Vermont, just like everything else, they do not wanna see a standalone waste district, and that's what we are. We're a standalone waste district, we're our own waste district. What they wanna see is us to be forced into, say, Bennington or
We used to be
Londonderry
down,
or
we used to
whatever.
be, right.
And the pressures that they're putting on are unreasonable
Hmm.
because of that.
that was something I saw, was you have to put out things digitally, not including the website.
Right, well, and then they turned around and said to us, oh no, you gotta actually visit. They would not accept that. So that's when Melissa gave me the list and I started beating down doors. And their list of businesses for the town, they have Christine Jenks on there, is still a hairstylist. She's been gone for 30 years. There's businesses on there, they have Coleman's Garage on there. Coleman's not
garage.
even in Bonneville. So they, you know, they made a big deal about that there was 60
Yeah, but
some
that was
odd
1986.
businesses.
I was here.
Was when I moved out.
Yeah, they made a big deal out of, well, you got 61 businesses or whatever. Well, when you go through the list and you take all the ones out that no longer exist and the ones that aren't in our town, it's like because it had to be another 20, so it was 20 on the first shot, 20 on the second, so that's 40. It's like, where do you want me to go and get new businesses, because there aren't, they also included another school, and it's like, well, we don't have another school. So, I mean, we're working through it.
All right.
Lisa and I are trying to work through it together, kinda keeping each other apprised of the newest crap that they're trying to force into us, and we'll see how it goes.
Okay.
But once you approve that, then that goes in for our permit.
So are we motion to approve the SWIP as presented?
Was there something else you were just
I
saying?
was just gonna say, you have 2 new businesses going into Tom Managia's. So anytime I
Sounds good.
know, I'll just kinda keep a list.
Next year I'll
Okay.
have 2 new ones I can go.
And when the real estate office gets finally finished, in whatever year that is, there's supposed to be another business going in there.
I will say this, of the 40 businesses that I did have to contact, everybody was very understanding, very, cause nobody likes the state, so. I mean, they were all very good, they were very, nobody gave me any issues or anything like that. so
And the
that
whole
was
thing
kinda
is just
nice.
explaining it to them.
It's basically,
Right, yeah.
it's basically, Julie, there's a packet that
Yeah.
that Lissa made up of things that they want you to pass out. And you basically go to the business and say, well, here's this information, just continue to do what you're already doing, because they're already doing all of that.
Right.
It's in my car.
Okay. Well, thanks for your efforts.
Yep.
I make a motion, we approve the Town of Winhall 2025 Solid Waste Implementation Program as written.
Okay. Motion was made
Second.
and seconded.
What is it?
Any other discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Cool. Thanks.
Scott, I just wanted to let you
Do we
know
have to
that
sign that or not?
the
No.
bathroom lock will be fixed tomorrow.
You can take that
Okay.
Upstairs?
Yeah.
Yay!
So,
Dan, finally, gonna do something for me.
I love it.
okay, so I just wanted to let you know that.
Okay.
And I don't have the
Thank you,
bids on the
Scott, for getting
cemetery
that
yet.
done.
Okay. Once you do get that second price, just let me know.
Yep, I will.
All right, so Highway Department report and discussion and then award contract. We gotta talk about the Stratton Access Road project. That's gotten a little complicated.
Yeah, the bid was freaking complicated.
Well, we'll talk about it in a minute.
Yeah.
Trevor, you got anything other than,
No.
okay,
No.
So-
We just did this last week.
let me,
Yeah, you wanna go or you want me to go?
go ahead.
So, we've encountered an issue up on the access road. It kinda entails the number 42 culvert up there. It's the 200-foot long one, it's above Stratton Garden Road.
You'll know in a minute. Sorry.
And-
Oh, I know which one it is.
Yeah, him and I discussed,
Oh,
but,
you did.
so the problem is, we're not sure if we'll be able to do that culvert this year or not. Because Consolidated has a bunch of conduits running under the access road into Stratton, across the access road, so it could be potentially in the way of the pipe. They're supposed to be coming in, hopefully next week, to do some exploratory surgery to figure out if our new pipe will fit. It's kind of the same issue we had with the snowmaking line before. We're not sure where it's gonna fall, but until we know for sure whether our new pipe will fit or not, that's the issue. So we might be at a standstill on at least that one culvert, and don't know if it's gonna be worth waiting another year to do that one particular culvert, having whoever gets the bid, which I'll be careful because I don't think we awarded it yet.
We have not.
But, so there could be potential issues on the access road for the scope of work we had planned on doing. And what it brought it along is, for Stacy and Beth, I think you kinda know, the first house is Stratton Garden Road. They've complained about the water coming down, and he wants to put a culvert across his driveway. So for him to do that, we've gotta put one across Stratton Garden Road. That's what's tripped this whole dig safe thing to come in, and I don't know what I'm gonna do, cause I don't know if my culvert will fit under Stratton Garden Road now.
Well,
Does the culvert come out, Trevor, where it's washing out right there? I haven't pulled
A
over
little
and
bit,
looked
right
at
that,
it.
right in that
Okay.
area. But it all depends, cause what they're saying is the manhole that's on the uphill lane, it's about 3 feet off the edge of the blacktop. They say it's like a 10-foot vault. Does it start at the manhole and go towards the tree line? Does it start at the manhole and come into the center of the road? Nobody knows that until they get in there. and
because
see what
this
they
stuff
got.
was supposedly put in 1984.
Yeah,
Oh.
so it's not
You're
just.
still using
By,
it?
by,
Oh, yeah.
well, by probably one of the other phone, like Ma Bell or New England Telephone or whoever, which has changed multiple times.
Right.
Now it's owned by Consolidated. They, other than their engineering drawings that they were handed, they know nothing about it. They've never been in the vault
No,
because all of the big phone lines, both coming down the mountain or up the mountain and going down to Route 30, because that office, it used to be a main connection to Brattleboro. They all go out of the office into that vault and then split both ways. So you go 1 or 2 poles below it, you've got major wires coming up the pole. You go 4 poles above it, you've got major wires coming down the pole, going into the ground and disappearing.
so yeah, so it's gonna be a wait and see kind of thing, but I mean, Stuart and I did talk about this yesterday on what the next steps were with this, because we do have the bids on it and stuff, so I think the next bid is to, now that you have this information, look at your bid, decide what you wanna do when you award it and the contingencies on it.
Thank you for coming tonight, Hunter.
Yep.
And I spoke briefly with you about this
Yep.
yesterday to know that, so that you know that there was an issue. I think my read on it would be is that we pull back some of the thing and ask Hunter to rebid, is to eliminate the big 10-foot culvert just above Roberts Road but below Melanie Morse's driveway, and the culvert at Stratton Gardens Road.
What numbers are those?
42 and 43.
Okay, great.
So
thanks.
I had some discussions with Hunter Tate briefly, and kind of, we've been thinking about this too. And, so no, I'll start off with that, I think it's 43 Roberts Road. You know, I look back at the engineering reports, plus jump down there, I think that culvert is good. You know, the big question is, we don't wanna not do something and have it not last and be into a new road within 10 years. So the big question for me is like, will it last 10 more years? And I think that one is good, and I think we're.
Meaning the big one.
The big one by Roberts Road,
Number
the 10-footer.
Yeah.
It was currently a 5-footer, the state wants a 10-footer.
But it's holding.
Right,
Right.
it's
So
holding.
it's gonna be a black mark on us when they come around to resurvey.
Yep.
But it works, and it's so much chaos at this point because we were gonna have to, I think we gotta pull our horns back in on it and pave over that. I still think we gotta do the culvert before it.
I agree, well, I think the other 3 and the under drain work we should do.
Mhm.
And then I will say, on that 42.
42 is the one by
That's the
Stratton Gardens.
That's the Stratton Gardens.
That's the chaotic one, right?
So, but I have real concerns about that, because, you know, I can show you the pictures from July of '23, I still have them on my phone.
Oh, yeah.
When that took out the whole access road. And I can tell you that at that time, you know, we have an agreement for what's maintenance and what's major, and we kind of all contribute money together. I took that fix and we never asked the town for a penny. It was $52,000 just to fix that from that overblow. So, and I understand we have other issues with it, but I would like to not take that one. I'd like to look at it and see if there's a way we can figure out.
I think we should continue looking at it, but I don't think we should hold up the whole project because we're not, maybe next week they'll be doing exploratory.
And that's what I was gonna say to Pat, it's nothing we're taking off the table right now, we just gotta let them figure out what's in the ground. And hopefully by next week, we can have more of a solid answer, so
Right.
that culvert could still go. It's gonna push the timeline a little bit, but it could still go this year, and I'm all for changing that culvert, trust me, it's gonna be.
Yeah, just 'cause I think-
don't think that I'm trying to push it off.
We're gonna, we're gonna continue to get these crazy storms. And,
Yes.
you know, we've been, the last one that washed the road out was 2 years ago, they're gonna come again, you know, it's a matter of.
I agree.
It's a matter of time,
Yeah.
and I think, I understand there's complications with that one, but I think we should still consider how we can.
Well,
I don't know if you.
I'm just afraid
Hunter,
of,
have you looked
That
at,
one's in terrible shape.
It is.
but have you looked at the alternatives for?
Well, the problem with the alternatives is you don't know what's under the
we don't know
ground
what's
yet.
in the ground.
Isn't that the one, is that the one that also took out the water from that? I think that's what took out,
Old farm?
yeah, the old
No,
one.
No,
Oh,
no,
was it?
let's go down to that one, 'cause that one,
Okay.
because what it does, it jumped above
But they were
Stratton
concerned
Road, came
that-
down the access road, then went under the access road
Oh.
at that 5-footer and goes across, and I agree with both of them, the 5-footer now is structurally sound, I do believe, it's a concrete pipe, and Hunter probably, he's looked at it, I believe it's gonna be okay. It's a case in point, Bill, where we're gonna put all the money into the road to
Yeah.
change it, but we don't have to do it, and I've been very common about saying that with the pre-bids and stuff, that's one that if we don't do, we don't do, and they're gonna come, they're gonna do their culvert inventory in the next couple of years, and they're gonna give us a black mark that doesn't meet standard, it's not the end of the world. It's not gonna, they're not gonna shut the town down, so we're gonna be okay. But this upper one.
We've never had a problem with that one backing up either.
A little bit, but not too bad, but that was because of other things, but this 42, I think we just need to wait and see, not take it off the docket completely, find out what's in the ground, if they come
Right,
next
you
week,
said
and I'm
next
gonna keep
week.
on them.
Now, the only thing is, like I just mentioned a minute ago, Stuart won't be here at the next meeting, and
So okay, so with that unknown, what would be your pleasure? Would it be to keep things moving, to bid on, I look at it as there's two separate things, right? I think there's the paving, and I think we all, guys talk about it, but I think Fuller, obviously has the lower bid. We have a great relationship with Tommy, he's done all the other paving, I think that's kind of a no-brainer. And then the question would be, a couple of questions, I think, is for Hunter to give a revised price to do the under drain work and the other 3 culverts, and then vote on that to approve it, and then at least that gets moving, and then, we put the other one on a wait and see,
On a progress.
right?
Correct.
And maybe we even consider, when we get to it, maybe as a suggestion, maybe we think about contacting VHB, who did all of the culvert studies and everything, and having them take a look and see if there's an alternative route and how it would affect the flow down and everything else, if they have them give us some recommendations on, if it turns out that we can't get under there, we're gonna have to go about it a different way, because obviously we're not even sure what it is, it's an 18 or 24, it's listed as a slash, and we're going to a 5x7 squash, I think, is the recommendation from the state. So maybe we have VHB do that as a future.
was it VHP or Otter Creek?
Otter Creek did the under drain survey.
Okay.
The inventory and the core drillings and all that was the VHB study, in 2019.
So-
The hope is that Consolidated comes with an excavator and digs to
Yeah.
give you an idea of how deep it is and what direction.
Because they know the direction it goes, but their concern is there's 9 conduits on the uphill side of Stratton Garden Road, the
Yeah.
pain is, but they're stacked on top of each other. So they're 4-inch culverts, so they're about a foot tall, so how far down they are, we don't know. And now I've already cut the blacktop there, so they'll be able to get into there and see that, then they're gonna go over to the vault and try to explore around that and see what's there. And the one on the discharge, the downhill side of the road, that could be a dead line, they don't even know. The guy was shocked because it's not even on his map, so it's either Consolidated or it could be Comcast, but we won't know until they get in there and get it opened up.
You could always make the pipe longer and just go deeper.
Well, yes, and that's
Just
all
to play
options.
under it.
Yep,
So it's not like it
Yes.
can't happen.
Yep.
So in terms of like, you know.
What, the big
getting-
concern is, Hunter, is knowing where exactly those conduits are and what that vault is.
Right, but it's not like, the culvert can't go in, oh my gosh. what do we
No,
do?
no.
It just has to get a
You might have to,
different
and
elevation.
and just so you guys
Yeah.
know, so what's
Okay.
gonna happen is that culvert comes across the road on a diagonal right now, it's 200 feet. So what Hunter's saying is if we swing that culvert downhill more, that's gonna extend the pipe longer, so you're gonna be another 50 feet.
And drop it.
And drop it.
Right.
The drop won't be as much, but you're gonna gain feet of pipe. So instead of it being a $70,000 pipe, it's gonna put up around a $90,000 pipe. So there's gonna be a change in that, if that's the worst case scenario. But we won't know until we figure out what's in the ground.
So,
Because the vault is on the Stratton Garden side.
No, it's on the
Oh, it's on
uphill side.
Melanie's side.
and there was
Okay.
this much sand over the entry pipe to it. I didn't even know it was there.
No, I had no idea.
But suddenly,
But-
when they came and they found it, they dug down to it, and the sand is built up this high over the vault now.
Wow.
So they didn't even know it was there, because they've never gotten into it.
Well, so that's, I mean, and I think we're all on the same page as far as what to do with this number 42
Just,
culvert.
just like,
I have a quick question. Is somebody, Trevor, you, or is somebody going to survey the extent of that vault or
Well, I'm gonna be
document
there,
the existing conditions?
I'm gonna be there with them when they do their exploratory.
I work for VHB, so this is probably gonna be on my desk. I imagine.
Great.
It wasn't part of
see,
the
you're gonna know more about it than
1960,
they even know about it right now.
Yeah, no, I mean, if
But
you
we're
wanna
gonna
go
want
up,
existing conditions.
if you wanna get a hold of me tomorrow or something, if you're in the area, so
Yeah.
you can put eyes on it.
Yes.
If
and
it's,
take
if
pictures.
we go the VHB route, I mean, this would be perfect, at least you can give us a
Okay,
look at it.
Well, and then, so before, then the only other real question then is, from before we, because this affects the big numbers, is close the road or not close the road. And personally, I think we've discussed it from a Stratton perspective, and especially considering if we're not doing, it was gonna be a 4-week closure with the Roberts Road, so we're not doing that. So, and if we're not doing this other one right now, it looks like everything you're approving is probably a 2-week closure. And I think from a financial standpoint and just from everything else, it makes sense to close it and just go.
When would this happen, exactly?
Well, that's the next thing we need to talk about is when it would happen.
we still have the permit process to go through, or do none of these qualify for the permit because
Well, I
they're
think at some point we
undersized?
should go through the bids before we get too far, I mean, it just.
Well, the problem is, if we're bidding on everything right up to and including the culvert by
Then we need
Telephone
state
Road
permits.
or Stratton Gardens Road,
Oh, yeah.
because we know that one we can't do right now. And we're basically saying, or I'm suggesting, that we not do the 5-foot one, which was gonna turn into a 10-foot one, and take those off the table. That's my suggestion.
Do 42 or not do 42?
You gotta keep 42 on the
I think
docket.
you gotta get 42, because if you
Yes.
go pave the road and make it all pretty, and then.
I'm not saying we
42.
pave it all the way up to there until we get, I think we do the corner, which is terrible, and do the culvert by the apartments, and then do the culvert that's just above Roberts Road that has the drop inlet that's created a lot of trouble.
Yeah,
Do that one and not do any more culverts there. And keep assessing the situation with the big culvert up by Stratton Gardens Road. And then come back to that, so, but not pave all the way up through there. I mean, pave, well,
At least to rock the ball, just about.
Well, the paving quote you have that you're gonna be voting
I
on is up to
understand.
there, so.
well, I know,
that
but,
42 is like your worst one.
I know it is,
I
I
mean,
know it
it's
is, but,
the inlet of that thing.
Oh,
But-
so there's no doubt on it, like I
Yeah.
said, we're not giving up on it, we
Yeah.
have to wait and
but
see.
that's gonna take a little longer.
Cause either way, correct me if I'm wrong, it's a 35 to 40 day wait period on the permits and stuff. So my suggestion would be, get the permit started. I mean, kick me in the shit anytime, but get the permit started, no harm, no foul, if we don't do 42.
I can't
Right,
start
right
the
up.
permit until I have the designs.
Well, I understand that, but what I'm saying is get that ball rolling, cause we're started July, at this point, you're
Well, can we-
technically looking at the end of August.
Can we
start
do,
time.
can we do 2 permits? Can we do a permit for all the work without 42, and then once we get the design?
Well,
Well, this is the timing of it.
Have we gotta have permits for the smaller ones?
not the smaller ones.
Not if they're gonna stay under 3 feet.
Yeah,
So-
we'll be okay with them, but it's the core that holds you up for about 40 days. So
Oh,
as
it's
long,
Army Corps?
Army
that you're
Corps.
going?
because you have to use them, so if you, what I'm saying is that get your
That's-
permit started now,
That's
But if
just
we
for the
had-
streams, right? The other ones-
42 and 43.
42 and
Right, the
43.
44, 45, 46 will just ditch.
Correct.
Right, they should.
If there's flood damage, which we had in 23, and we can show, is there a faster process
Yes.
through Army Corps to
No.
navigate it?
Not Army Corps, but
Nothing.
state.
Army Corps is a stickler, it is, and that's what I'm saying, if we,
There's the next
no
flood
matter
level.
what happens
Right.
tonight, get the design and stuff from the winning bidder and get the permit started. If we don't do it, we're okay, we're already a step ahead, because right now, you're looking at the end of August, I'm guessing, Hunter, if you got green light tonight.
Yeah, I mean, there's
What's
a
your-
lot
what's
of
your timeline?
options and variables.
Right, but, well,
So,
because what I'm looking at,
yeah, I mean, there's only so
let's be
much time
realistic,
left.
we're in July.
Yeah,
I
no,
mean-
I'm aware.
I mean, and then we're gonna start going to leaf peeper, then before you know it, the other
Yeah.
4-letter word comes. So if we get that ball rolling now, where we get all our permits done, whether we do 43 or not, and just get the permits in so they're in place, then if we get the chance to do 42, we don't have to wait that 40 days. We're done, I mean, we've got our permits by
I
the
think
middle
that's,
of August.
that's totally a good idea.
How long is the permit good for? Is it
Right,
just,
when
is it
October
just?
1st.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, see, that's, they
But,
can pinch you.
but once you get it approved,
Yeah.
you can, if you don't get it done by October 1st, you can roll into the next
Yeah.
year,
Okay.
correct?
Usually you could start after July 1 and then be done.
Correct, so it's not like we'd have to start the permit, we would just have to request
Yes.
permission, we didn't get it done this year,
Yes.
we ran out of
Just like
time.
South
We're
Roads.
gonna throw Hunter under the bridge, he
Yeah.
didn't get it done this
I
year.
didn't mention names. But no, I mean, I think it's a smart move. Then we've got all of our ducks lined up, so as soon as, let's say Consolidate goes in there and says, oops, sorry, there's only 2 conduits and it's just a little itty bitty manhole, we're good to go. The permits, he submitted all the paperwork he's gotta do to Alyssa send it on. The process is started, cause it's the middle of August before you see these permits. And every day you wait from here on in, will put us further back, which is gonna put us into another quandary with your paving world. Cause you start buying time in the paving world, cause once you hit October 1st and the 2 mountain guys and Hunter, it's game on. I mean, we could be plowing the second week in October, so my other suggestion would be, if he's not out of the road by October 1st, so the paving guy can get in there, do we just hold off on the paving until next year? You should, I didn't see it in here, you included it in your numbers, but just cause I'd asked at the pre-bid, Jeff, you were there, to include the dirt guy, whoever did the dirt work, to give us a number for temporary patching for these
I
crossings.
included all.
And I see that,
And the real base paving for the drainage side, but I was gonna just shim down.
yep, but,
So Tommy would.
so it was kind of a saving step for us, so we didn't have to get to October, and the paving guy's going, I can't make it, now we gotta scramble to get more numbers. Hunter's already submitted those numbers, so if things do fall to pieces, we should have everything in row to get this done.
So,
You might
let's,
have to just do a 1-inch overlay on the,
Well, he'll still full redepth,
yeah.
both the rest of it.
so,
No, but if
so
you didn't
let's,
pay it,
let's
it's fine.
recap, we've got several different versions on the table. So, if we rebuild the corner, which needs it desperately, put the under drain in, get that rebuilt, go up, do the next 2 culverts up, and I don't know what numbers they are. Three culverts.
Yeah.
Okay, 3 culverts. Do those are all relatively easy, right?
Yep.
Relatively.
They're 18.
They're not like the big 10-foot one,
Three 18 inches.
Yeah.
okay? Do those, and then we'll talk to Fuller and say, okay, we don't think we're gonna be doing the whole paving job all the way up to above Telephone Road, and at least go up to Melody's house or thereabouts,
Yep.
so we stay back far enough so that if we do get to do this other job, we don't tear up brand new pavement. Then at least we've got the corner fixed and that. So I would recommend that we ask Hunter, he was the only agency that showed up to bid on the project, to get back to us with a revision, because we're obviously not gonna build a road around the big one. That one's off the table as far as I'm concerned. and we still are in planning stage for this other one. And pull it back in just a little bit and go from there. Do you guys agree with that?
Do you have an itemized, I know it's not here, but do you have the itemized cost for the under drain work in each of those 3 culverts?
I do. I tried to carve out time today
Okay.
thinking that was a potential, but I went from meeting to meeting, to call to call to call, so I didn't get enough time to present something that, you know, is detailed enough to move.
But is that something you think
I
would be
can-
the best
I can
thing to do?
tomorrow, yeah.
Is that some,
Need some time.
is
yeah.
that something you think that
But it
would
has to be approved in a meeting.
well, so if we have to call a special meeting, we'll call a special meeting. I mean, I mean, this was an unusual quandary, because we were thinking we were gonna put in a small culvert and we were just gonna dig across it, and then suddenly we found out where all this conduit goes. So this is something that I'm surprised that DigSafe was able to tell us there was anything there, because there's lots of other instances they haven't, which we won't go into. But
What option, road closed, road open? Because that's a very big piece of cost.
And I think, as I said, we talked about it as Stratton Corporation, you know, what our feelings would be on it. And I think especially because what we're looking at is probably road closed, probably 2 to 3 weeks of closure.
It's the 3 culverts and the
And the
drainage
under
work,
drain.
the solid 2 weeks, long days. Just really knock that out.
We would vote for road closure.
so how are we gonna do
Reduce
it? We're
price.
gonna run them up and down Lower Taylor Hill with a traffic light?
Yep.
It's gonna have to be one way, because the road is not wide enough for traffic 2 ways.
No, it isn't.
I know it's gonna be a burden to you for,
I mean,
For
as
2
long
weeks.
as the police are keeping an eye on it afterwards and people don't think we've switched around.
Right.
What's your outlook on this, Derek?
Yeah, I mean, my concern is the residents on the road, not knowing which way the stoplight's going when they.
Oh,
start
that
coming
is,
Or when you
yeah.
pull
down
out.
the road or up
yeah.
the road.
Well, I mean,
Where-
you could post enough signage of certain speeds and notification.
So signage doesn't, I mean, there's 6 signs at the bottom saying don't go this way.
Where are people gonna
There's a
wait
flashing
at the top?
sign that says 25.
Just remember, the alternative is probably 6 weeks of traffic control in 1 lane on the access road.
Oh, no, we understand.
No, it's more the logistics of making, like, I live on that road, so I drive on it every day. I don't wanna pull out of my driveway, start driving down the road and get hit, because I regularly almost get hit anyway. So-
you're experienced,
Right.
you're experienced.
Going the wrong way right by your house last week.
It's really not wide enough for two vehicles, I guess.
No.
Above Julie's house, it gets tight, which it's always been a while.
And the problem
And
is,
it's
there's
steep.
gonna be delivery trucks, there's gonna be.
Well, there's the curve too.
Yeah, and the bridge is
You have
one way,
workers, a lot of
and the
workers.
bridge is one
And
way.
the-
Yeah, at 4
And
o'clock.
the trucks that need to get up to you,
Yeah.
get through the bridge and the corner.
Yeah, that's gonna be hard. But I mean, that.
Well, I'm sorry, Derek.
I guess can the trucks that need to get up to Stratton,
I've seen a semi do it.
Really?
Uh-huh. Yeah, they got stuck in the snow, and so we just sat on the deck and watched as they couldn't get further, but they can, I mean, I've seen it go across.
So you think that'll realistically take 2 weeks to do those?
Put in some long days, yeah.
you know,
Yeah. And do as much as we can to get out of the road to get it open.
Okay.
I mean, maybe we could split it up on the drainage work. Maybe we could pipe the ditch line and push the road out over the ditch. I thought about that, to get 2 lanes and still be able to work in the report, it wants you to go just over the yellow line. So maybe we can make the road wide enough. It still slows stuff down because you've got
Wow.
still traffic
You do
control.
one and have traffic light on the access road, one way.
And there's lots of different ways to slice this one, but, you know.
Is it legal to lower the speed limit?
We can lower the speed limit for construction zone.
I'm just
anytime.
saying, if that would help
On your road,
us.
speed bumps.
That's what, yeah.
Speed bumps,
You-
slow them down.
You've been talking to my husband?
We actually looked at that, Hunter, you can't, because of the grade.
Oh, yeah.
So, I mean, my opinion of the whole Lower Taylor Hill, it's gonna be hard to retrain them. And
Yeah.
because you're gonna have a lot of truck traffic on delivery trucks, buses at that point in time. And there's gonna be a lot of traffic on that road. I mean, the last study from the VHB or Otter Creek, I think in 17 was 3,700 cars a day on the access road. Now you're gonna dump that on Lower Taylor. So, I don't know, I think it's a tough decision, and I mean, Derek and I kinda touched base on it, and it's where do you put the lights, how, I mean.
Well, the problem is at the top, we don't have a huge stacking area. At the bottom, we've got stacking area in front of the library. But that could turn into 10 or 15 cars
In a
in
heartbeat.
seconds.
Could you have just the uphill lane come through your work area and make all downhill traffic go down Lower Taylor Hill? I mean, at least that would get rid of the two-way.
The problem
Down
is,
there.
the problem is he's still keeping the road open,
Yeah.
Yeah.
which takes extra time.
Right, but he
to-
was saying use the ditch line.
Yeah, add to the side and make it an extra lane.
That's just for the drainage part, not for the culverts. Good stuff, all the projects on the access road have always had a
Bypass.
wraparound. This is the first project that hasn't.
Even 42's got a bypass.
Yeah.
Ireland's gonna be the.
And the people down, like Morse's, however, wherever you were, obviously, they'd be able to go up, but like Roberts, we would deal with them as whichever culvert you're working on.
work
Okay.
with.
Okay.
Yep.
Just because she's elderly, that's the only reason I asked.
To the people at the condos, they're gonna be able to use their
Yeah.
entrance.
Yeah, they're probably gonna wanna block that off so people aren't
Going
cutting
down
down
there.
through there.
No, it's, I mean,
I don't know, what do you wanna do, folks?
I mean, and what do you wanna do? Are we talking about what we're doing with the culvert as putting it
The whole
off?
thing.
That's a big old,
Yeah,
what are
well,
we doing?
We're,
I mean, I clearly think we've gotta wait on the one culvert.
I think we should
Yeah.
not fool with the 5-footer that is way down, that would turn into a 10-footer. Just leave that one off the docket for now. And we will keep assessing this other one, which may happen in the next week or two, and then we can better make a decision on that. But I think we should go ahead and try to ask Hunter if he could give us some different figures to go the 3 culverts and get those done and the under drain work, and then talk to Fuller and say, okay, we're only gonna do whatever, 1,000 feet and go to here. I think he will be open to working with us on that. I think that's what we're gonna have to do.
So road open or close?
that's the big question.
Because that affects his quotes.
This price,
Right.
yeah.
I like Beth's idea of keeping Lower Taylor one way down, and, I mean, it's gonna be a little more work for you, Hunter, but I mean, my opinion, my suggestion would be you run with it, because that's keep your downhill traffic going Lower Taylor, but keep one lane going up the access road at all
Yeah.
times.
Yeah, cause
Well, that'll theoretically not confuse people
Right.
in theory, because they're already supposed to go down.
If the sun's out,
and
it
not
confuses some people.
Right.
Yeah, but the up will overhead, when
I
it
just-
changed to, I mean, I wanted it two-way
Yeah,
years
I
ago.
But I think that when Hunter does his number, my suggestion to the board would be to have Hunter run it that way. Because I don't think you're gonna retrain it, we can't stop them from going up
the
and down.
downhill lane of the access road.
Correct, leave one lane open so people can come up, but they gotta go down Lower Taylor.
So
Would be
you're
my
working half the road and half
How
the
much
road.
does that add to your time?
About some.
Yeah.
Probably doubles it.
Oh, if we close it versus open it?
Yeah.
I'd say double. I mean, there's a lot.
We go
You
from
just
a 2-week project to a
Start,
4-week
stop,
project.
stop.
I mean, that's my suggestion to the board, is just to look at that option, have Hunter run that number, you're never gonna retrain them.
No, and if you get an accident on that Lower Taylor Hill, and that gets blocked off, and there's a real incident,
Oh,
we're
then-
in trouble.
Then you really,
Yeah.
We're really in trouble.
Or a truck gets stuck on the bridge.
Stuck.
Yeah,
Can we
right.
cut through those condo units and go down by the post office?
They
no,
will
it's a
never allow
private, it's
that.
private road and they won't do it.
And it's too steep and narrow.
Mhm.
No. I mean,
Even
if,
it's like, please?
huh?
Pretty please?
No.
We could put a bridge from Roberts across to 30 before we could do that.
That is what Mrs. Byington recommended
Oh,
40 years ago.
She did. Instead, she built Winhall Acres.
I mean, do you know,
I
Gary?
guess,
She had a plan.
you know, obviously, we can
To
look
put
at
that.
both, cost of each, and you guys can determine which one
I
to
mean-
go with, but, I mean, I like the idea of having an uphill, downhill, whichever way an emergency vehicle needs to go on.
So are we gonna have traffic control at the top of the project by Stratton Garden Road? I don't mean a light, I mean a cop standing there or saying, to get down the mountain, you gotta go up to there and go down. Because otherwise, there's still gonna be people that are gonna
Confused.
drive down there, and when the line clears, they're gonna come down through. That's gonna be a given. So,
Right.
so
We have
we're gonna have,
flaggers, but flaggers don't work 24 hours a day.
Right.
So they work during the day, and then at night, you got a problem.
should we,
There ain't no photo on there, sit all night.
let's just not fix the access road anymore. We got people who don't wanna do that now, so let's just not fix it anymore.
Sounds like you gotta turn Lower Taylor into a 4-lane highway. Maybe that.
There you go.
That's great.
It is big.
Thanks.
That's why I
Thanks,
moved to
Dave.
Vermont.
It's big.
Do that first and then you can fix the access.
That-
So you're saying making sure the downhill traffic doesn't go down the access road after flaggers are gone?
It's signed
Right.
one way and
Lots of
flashing
signage.
lights and,
Stop.
I mean, it's no different than Upper Taylor, or Lower Taylor.
Right.
It's the same scenario.
Yeah.
You know, signs with arrows, all downhill traffic here, kind of block the one side you're not working on.
Because you have a portable street light or a stoplight, so you can
Coming.
you could
Yeah.
set that up there. Just
You could sign it up.
Right.
You could.
They're
do
still-
it.
they're still
Yeah,
gonna-
There's enough, yeah. you
they're
could-
still gonna ignore.
Yeah.
But I mean, I don't know what other options you have. I mean, because there, what would the legality? Because I didn't look this up, and I was hoping maybe you know offhand. Would we have, if we did two-way traffic on Lower Taylor, would we have to re-sign that whole thing?
Yeah.
You'd have to-
Change your sign or at least cover up the,
I'll figure out how to make it work with down Lower Taylor or not.
Okay,
I'll
just a
figure it
second.
Scott, let's wait on
What, Scott?
At least the thing with signs, like Hunter's saying, even if they don't read the signs, which they won't, I'm very versed in this myself, at least then when you bitch them out,
Right.
they got no leg to stand on. You have all the leg to stand on,
Yeah.
because you had the signs, they ignored them, and now you can really open up the can of worms.
Yeah.
Well, and Derek,
Yeah.
you could offer extra patrol for
When we
maybe
get-
at nighttime and stuff, maybe.
Yeah.
Just give me a couple.
I'll price it that way. I'll think through it and come up with some type of a sign light package that
Yeah, to get-
accommodates
So-
the safety.
When do you think you can, should we call a special meeting as soon as Hunter gets
Yes.
a
Yes.
change on this?
Yeah.
It would
it's
be,
up.
it would be best if we could figure out 42 in the next week. And I don't know, why do they have to do the exploratory?
Because that's what they said they want. I said I'll come out with it. No,
Why can't we do it?
they said they wanted to bring their own crew with
Yeah,
it.
they wanted to, but we always do our own exploratory.
I'm just.
I
That's
wrote-
what the guy. I questioned it.
At least if it gets broken, they broke
And I
it.
think that's a lot of it because they do that. They're
But there's no like law or rule saying they
No.
have, so in theory, whether you do it or I do it on a day job or Pat hires me, whatever.
Yep.
We could do our own exploratory early next week, come up with a plan for.
Without
42,
waiting on them.
and bid-
that's
and bid
entirely up to the
Because
board.
there's a, you know, if I bid it without 42 and then all of a sudden we figure out 42, there's so many things that interconnect in how it gets priced that.
No,
it just-
I was very adamant with the guy. I
Yeah.
said I can have a machine up here and do it. He
Yeah, I
said
mean,
no.
yeah.
He said we've got our own system. This is
Yeah.
how we do it. And I said listen. I said
Okay.
this is your stuff in the ground. I mean,
Yeah.
I think it's a liability thing if case
Yeah,
it
it's their
gets
stuff
hit.
in the ground, but it's our road.
Oh, 100%.
Yeah.
But I just this is the conversation I had
So
with the guy. and
I
don't know.
assume they got permission to put it across there, but,
At some point.
you know, but whatever.
Well, he says he's coming this
well,
I said.
that-
No
that-
way.
a week from tomorrow.
So
Yeah,
I wonder
a week
if
from
looking
tomorrow.
back in the select board minutes, if there isn't something in that time frame, if you were to give me the time frame, if I couldn't, I mean, you never know what's in those minutes. Maybe there's a drawing in there, maybe there's,
Well, I see
maybe
the, I
there's
see,
something.
I see the
You
drawing.
need real time.
Right.
You need
Yes.
to dig it, shoot
Right,
it, period.
right.
And I think it would be best that either I do it or you do it. because relying on some third party and when they're gonna come and
Yeah, it could
getting
be a
the
long
info
time.
we need. Look, we dig around utilities every day, so it's not like we can't dig around utilities.
I'm not questioning that you
Yeah.
can, Hunter, I'm just telling you what was relayed
It's
from.
Okay, so what do we wanna do?
It was more of an easement,
It was
like,
that
did
big
we give them an
electric
easement?
utility
Because if
that
we
we didn't
didn't, then we could potentially do what you wanna do and explore it without any problem, that
No, we
was
don't
my
need
thought.
permission to, on all
We
of
all-
our projects,
Okay,
if there's utilities in there, before we blitz a whole crew in there and put up signs and stuff, we go in there and explore what depths, where they're located for everything. So then when
Okay.
we do move into Calvary, you're not sitting there trying to find a little pipe with, 4 excavators sitting there. So this is like common practice.
Okay.
And I'm recommending that you deploy someone, whether it's me or Trevor, next week to figure it out. So we can bid the project that should happen this year. Timely.
I
If we
would
wait-
absolutely be okay with Hunter doing it, but I wouldn't be okay with the town doing it, because if there is some funky shit that comes out of this, why do we wanna put ourselves on the front line? Let Hunter assume the responsibility, he's willing to do it. I'm not okay with the town doing it, because you don't know, I mean, if these assholes decide to
Well, Hunter's
do
doing it for
something because
strat.
they said that they wanted to do it, nobody else could do it. I'm saying the town should not put itself in that position. If Hunter wants to assume it, let him.
Well,
do that.
I think we, and besides that, he's gotta see what's there more than we do. We have to be involved in it, but still, he's the one who really has to know what's there, and if we can get a culvert through under there.
So I'll hire Hunter, Stratton Corporation,
Yeah.
to do the exploratory, in advance of this project. It'll be a contract with us and him.
Get it done.
Right,
So-
under the municipal services agreement, we're responsible for maintenance of the road,
Yeah.
right? We make major projects are split fee, but I think this is maintenance, and we'll call it that, and we'll move forward.
The only thing we won't know is what conduits are live or used or not.
Correct.
But they still should come and figure that out. But we could,
We could call, you got a phone number for him?
Yep.
So you could call him and say, hey, we got exploratory going on right now, you better get somebody over here. And I mean, just so that they've got a person on
Yeah,
site.
give them
You heads up that we're
can
we need to.
Catch up tomorrow.
yeah,
Okay,
We
I
can-
mean,
So-
I think we give them a heads up that
Are-
we need to move forward.
are we gonna go, are we gonna just sideline this for now?
Yeah.
Wait for Hunter to get us more information, when he's got more information, we'll call a special meeting.
Yeah, because he'll have a
We'll go from
revised
I mean,
bid.
could you-
too.
what's your next meeting,
Revised.
I still
We-
need to know, no, we're good. Got
Yeah,
it.
we're good.
Yep.
So what's the next
What-
meeting,
We're
the
not gonna
16th?
close the road
Right,
completely.
right.
The next meeting isn't until the
The 16th.
16th.
No, there'll be a
But we need-
special
Well,
meeting.
we
and
can't-
so-
Yeah, but what I'm saying is you might not have to, because we'll be next week exploring it, then he's gonna have to have time, so you wouldn't have to do one if you didn't
But
have to.
I
Well,
think
Stuart
we
won't
should,
be at the
That's, I can
time.
call in,
When
I've
do you-
called in before.
That's true, that's true.
I think we
That's
should
my
do an
suggestion.
emergency meeting as soon as he
Yeah, I
gets
prefer
the
to do it that way
stuff.
too, and when you're
Right.
here, if that's
Well,
possible.
I mean, I
When are
can
you
call
leaving?
the 6th, I'm leaving Saturday,
Oh.
this Saturday, but I can call in,
Ah, Yep.
there are
But I
lots of phones.
still think we should do it as soon as we can.
Yep, we got to give him so we can get going on it.
Yeah.
All right, so
Yeah,
we're
need to
gonna,
move.
we're gonna table this.
Pending some more
Hunter
information.
is
Yeah.
gonna be doing exploratory surgery under Stratton's, thing, and we're going to possibly call a special meeting if we get more information
Yeah.
before then. Is everybody okay with that?
I just
Stacy.
have
It
one-
would actually
Yeah.
probably be an emergency meeting, because
Yeah,
that we
it's-
can do within 24 hours.
And we
It's-
don't have to
There's
warn.
not the warning and all the others.
Stacy?
I just wanna clear it up, so you need to do your proposal and layouts and everything before we can, apply for the permits? Okay, sorry. That's-
No, it's a good
No, I think
question,
We're in good shape.
Okay.
okay?
So it's
right.
all on you, Hunter, good luck.
Always is, yeah, always is, isn't it?
Hunter, there's no pressure at all, no pressure at
Just
all.
our name.
Lives with pressure.
He's got a couple of trucks that don't have Hunter written on the side of them, so those might be Okay, so
let's move
we're gonna
on.
table this?
Yeah.
Yes,
Can I get a motion to that?
I make a motion to table it until Hunter does his
Further information.
exploratory
Okay.
surgery.
A second.
Motion made and seconded to table it. Any other discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Alright,
Aye.
Okay, Thank you.
And Hunter, thank you for answering random questions I
No.
have.
Thank you. So,
Appreciate it.
so Hunter, just let me know what time tomorrow you and I get
Stuart.
together,
Thank,
and maybe we'll meet up there.
yeah, I know.
Right.
Okay.
I understand.
Thank you, everyone.
Thanks, guys.
Thank you.
Okay,
Have a good night.
so, approved media of record, currently Manchester Journal, is that still our best bet?
Yes.
Yes.
Is that still the, there's not really many choices
There's not a lot
out
of option.
Not a lot
Right.
of option.
They just come out once a week, so.
Yep.
okay?
Do
So,
I make a motion, we make the Manchester Journal our media of record?
Second.
motion made, Manchester Journal, our media of record, all in favor, say aye. Media areas of posting, town office, winhall.org, Winhall Market, and Boundville Post Office. Is that enough for the average
They need
situation we
three, and
have?
the website's the fourth, which we do.
Scott?
I just wanna throw it out there that we have plans on moving our bulletin board, that we have at the station that we used to post things in, Beth
Okay.
remembers that. Right now, you can't really access it because of our, radar sign,
Mhm.
but we're going to move that. So if you wanted to add,
You can move it like next to your window?
no,
Oh, that'd be good.
Okay, but if this is enough, for
Yeah, this is
the
good.
rules, we could do that and add that.
I do,
Right.
yeah, I
Is that
think
okay?
I think it'd be great to add it, cause I do take important stuff up there.
But the problem is, if we're not ready for it, do we wanna add it now?
Well, no, he's moving it soon, he said,
yeah,
so,
probably this weekend.
Oh, okay, well,
Okay,
So-
transfer station, it doesn't
and-
hurt to have more than you need.
yeah,
Right.
right, I mean, right, okay, so, I need a motion that these areas plus the
Yeah,
transfer
so I
station.
move that we approve media areas of posting the town office, the Winhall website, the Winhall Market, Bonneville Post Office, and the transfer station.
Okay, motion was made
I second.
second.
and seconded. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Okay, cool.
Thank you
All
for
right.
doing that, Scott, moving that.
All right, old business, short-term rentals, how's that?
Christie's working
Is
through it.
Christie working on
Yeah,
it?
it's not me or Lissa anymore, Christie's meeting with them and they're getting up to speed and they've been scraping the internet. and-
Okay, so she's on the job.
She's, the only thing in the short-term rentals is, same as the next item, which is the, public safety facility.
Oh, the postcard.
What's the status of the card?
It's getting ready to go out, they
Okay,
have the
so-
mailing, everything's,
I had sent you a note because I know, it sounds like Doug gave you the Excel spreadsheet of the grand list, which is taxpayers, but
we had the voter list.
Oh, you do, so you have them both, okay,
Yeah,
good, because somebody, I think you said Express Copy will do it, right?
I sent it to Repro, but
Oh,
yes, they
Repro,
just say.
and they'll do this, they'll mush them
They
together.
mush them together.
Yeah, I mean, just
Okay.
gotta make sure, cause some people, rent, so they're not
Well,
on our voter list.
Right, and
They
the
vote.
cemeteries, cause there is that list, I don't know if Doug gave you that, that's, non-taxpayers. Like the cemeteries, I think there's a couple others on there, I think the National Forest gets something, which they won't need that.
Yeah, that's.
I mean, it's small.
It's the voter, it's the voter list and the taxpayer
Mhm.
grant list, that's what, and you just need to add the voter list to the grant list, cause
Yeah.
some people don't own property. But they might have issues, particularly if they're renting and somebody's got a short-term rental
Yeah.
next to them or something.
Okay,
I think we're,
so that's under control.
yeah.
All right, so Public Safety Facility Committee, where do we stand
Well,
on that?
that's the
Well,
same
that's the
card,
postcard.
that's the same postcard, it's one postcard that has
Okay,
both things.
so, all right.
We don't have
just
anybody
check
on it yet, I mean,
Well, no, we haven't said anything yet, so
No, we
that's
said-
asking for people to volunteer if they want to be on.
Yeah, I'm wondering, as much as we've had, this influx of people interested in the select board, I've been in town quite some time and, there's not usually a lot, I mean, I hope I'm wrong. I'm not expecting a lot of people to come up, I
So,
mean,
we'll see.
maybe Jeff or Dean, but, cause they've been participating, but, I mean, I'd be really happy if we get some people, especially
Right.
experienced people, or Andrea, I mean, that would be great, I mean, this committee, so the card is with Repro? Okay,
Yep.
so, did they give you a time frame?
They said it would be in the mail by early next week,
Okay,
so,
After the holiday.
yeah, they're taking a
Yeah,
holiday,
okay.
that's what I was thinking,
All
holiday
right.
break.
yeah.
so we'll sideline that.
All right.
Any new business?
Well, I had something. So, I happened to see that there was a grant today for Park and Ride. I read through it. We are not eligible because it's only new projects, not repair or work. I thought maybe we could get something like that, you know, a cover, line striping, whatever.
I was gonna say,
but
it's funny you
that's
said
not,
that because
that's not an option.
well, I was just gonna say whether they pay for it or not. What we didn't do about line striping, you can't see any, not that the town roads or anything.
Scott is raising his
Wouldn't
hand.
ask me or nothing, but just, you know, whatever.
What's up, Scott?
So Pat gave Trevor the name of the company they use in Albany. I just need to get Trevor.
For line stripe,
Yeah,
you're talking
line
for the parking lot?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay.
Because the guy I used to use has gone out of business.
Yeah, well, let's see if they can use something other than watercolors.
Well, they have to use.
We could probably get the same outfit that did the access road last year.
I'm telling you, and the thing with that too, as much as everyone, oh my God, the two lines are gonna be there forever, they're all gone.
Yeah,
The bad lines are gone, the good lines are gone.
okay, whatever. Scott's on it.
Yep.
Yes,
We'll
thank you,
leave it at
Scott. Thank you, Scott.
that. Did you have anything else?
Nope, that was it. I just
Did
wanted
you
to
have
let
any
you know that.
access or right-of-way permits?
No.
Okay. Do we have any, I'm sorry?
Does anybody need, I'm gonna get some veggie burgers, but does anybody need anything other than pork for meat at the cookout?
I'd go with half a cow.
Cause that's what, he's just gonna barbecue.
Oh,
Gluten-free rolls
it was a need, not a want.
Sure.
for your veggie burgers.
No, I can eat ribs.
Right.
All right, so somebody have some ribs and a burger for me, please.
I'll work on that. Yeah, I'll work on
You'll take care of that, thank you, Alex, I appreciate that.
Everybody.
Scott, you can help out on that?
Yeah, you know,
Okay.
well, but there won't be any left if he's there.
Well,
I ordered,
Okay,
I ordered 30 pounds.
do we have bills tonight?
Thank you. Yes, right here.
Okay,
and
all right,
we did put up that we were closing early so that Al could go and, you know, so he wasn't starving.
Bill?
Nope.
Bills, for Bill.
go ahead, open them up.
That's them down here.
Has anyone had a chance to read the minutes from the last meeting?
Yes. I didn't get them, but that's all right. That's-
Okay. So, can we get a motion on the minutes
Make a
of,
motion, we approve the minutes from June 16th? was it?
As amended, did you?
June
As
19th?
amended,
As
June
amended, yeah.
You said June 19th.
19th.
What did you amend?
Because
so
we
how do we-
changed it from a Wednesday to
Oh,
a
that's
Thursday
right.
because
Yes,
I couldn't be
yes.
here, that's why.
That's right.
So, how do you wanna deal with this, Chair?
Split it up,
Into 5 piles?
yes. Okay.
I mean, that's
So-
not gonna, that's interesting.
Well, what do you,
I
I
don't
don't
know.
care how you wanna do it.
I don't know, it's almost like, I mean, this one happens to not be
Okay,
that big.
so we have the minutes of Thursday, June 19th.
Okay.
We have a motion that was made, and I'll second it, to accept. You guys okay, Bill? The minutes of the
Yes.
last meeting?
Yes,
All in favor, say aye.
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 Can someone, are we just looking these
You
over?
just look
Yeah.
them,
So,
so
yes,
this number
Mhm.
is the budget line item that it's being put to.
Okay, thank you.
And then, you know, the person, it'll be Trevor or, you
Right,
know,
okay.
and so you know what department and you just look through and if you have questions.
Okay,
yeah,
about
really, it's
those.
just sometime, and it's been very rare, I mean, 16 years, you know, that we've said, oh my goodness, what the heck is this one?
okay.
But
And
that's what
and
it
when
is.
and when the bill comes from the state for
Oh,
$6
God.
million,
Oh, yeah.
Oh, but-
we
Oh,
usually
okay.
gasp just a little bit with
Yeah,
that.
that's
Correct.
half of it.
But there's not much we can do about it.
Do you guys see the new tax rates?
Yes.
Yeah, so the whole, this non-resident
same
went
is-
down a little bit and the resident went up a little bit compared to last year.
Okay.
But not
Not huge.
under a cent, right?
Okay, keep flipping through,
I'm-
and
I'm
I'll
looking.
get to look at
I'm looking, look, you can't boss me around, we're on the same playing field.
No, I'm the vice chair.
Yeah,
just a
yeah,
member.
you're still just a person. You gotta be
Well,
patient.
She's still within reach of you. If I were you, here, look at that one.
Thank you.
Jesus. I wouldn't, no, if I were you, I'd be.
That's-
You better have a talk with Scott later.
Beth's got my back, and it's not with a knife.
No, no.
Not now.
Scott Scott, I wanted to reaffirm that the cleaning people are doing really well. I mean, the new 2 people she's got, I mean, they're under the desk, they're going in the radiators. So, no, we're really happy. Doug was surprised that they were under his desk. It kind of freaked him out a little.
What is Progard Mag? Magnesium?
Calcium.
This,
Okay, calcium, magnesium,
You know,
okay.
Chloride.
Julie,
Yes.
Julie, this is like when my wife opens something, she said, what's this? I said, I don't know, I haven't seen it yet.
Oh, Scott, this is the stuff, the US ecology that you use to keep the smell and everything down? Oh, no?
ecology is your hazard waste day.
Okay,
It's
perfect.
That's actually why.
Okay, great.
You know, this
Wow,
one's probably,
that really-
this might be what.
That costs us a lot of money,
Ours
doesn't
sprayer,
it?
2-gallon ace.
$7,044, wow.
Yeah, but we have to do it as a.
No, yeah, no, I know, I didn't know it cost that much.
Oh, here, you can have this one.
Oh, thanks.
And
You can have those, though.
Yeah,
And that.
actually,
Yep.
probably makes sense for him to get it.
Well, you gotta finish your pile before.
No, I'm coming good, I'm moving that way, and there's.
We're gonna have to start going
Have,
clockwise, like I'm trying to be getting you to.
has
Not, oh, that's the
the,
grind. Okay, there you go. Thanks a lot.
the reappraisal,
Oh,
Yeah, well, we can go counterclockwise or clockwise, either way.
the reappraisal is still
Slow.
not really gained anything.
slow, they're in Wake Robin Road, which is the road on the sharp corner coming up Mitchell Mountain just above Snowflake. They're in there now.
They're on track.
So they're
So-
moving up.
All right,
And people have been calling in, and the answer is you'll get a letter in the mail telling you before they come.
okay.
And it come about a week to 10 days before, is what I heard.
Oh, you're gonna get paid tonight, look at you.
Oh, bonus.
Hey Scott, did you get your garage doors all fixed at this time?
Yeah.
Tentatively?
We are currently working at this.
Okay.
They may not.
No
but
guarantee.
They are right now.
Okay.
Not here to do bad news.
No.
So really, it's only, Stace, it's just if something like jumps out and says
Yep.
like, what the heck is
I've
that?
had that one,
Okay.
right?
I would
Yeah, because I
definitely
gave it
say
to you,
this
so this, and
Here's-
then I'll
sorry.
go to
I would
that.
Here's
definitely
one.
say that at any time in the future, any garage doors, if somebody wanted one with a man door in it, I would highly discourage them.
Yeah,
Because it's the one that we have all problems with all the time. because
Sure.
There's a safety switch on
okay.
it, and it gets banged or it gets wore
So you
out.
can't push the door, if the door is open, it won't go up or
Right,
down?
that's the idea, so it doesn't.
Yeah, okay.
Listen, I'm sorry, Scott. The National Insurance Services, the 2008-65, is that insurance here, fire
It's
department?
the short-term disability, long-term disability, and life insurance for all the employees paid
Okay.
quarterly.
Okay, perfect, thank you.
There you go. You've had this one, Stuart.
You have?
Yeah, you handed it. You went out of order and you
No,
crossed.
that's,
I'm
okay.
slow, I got
get
a
used to
pile
it.
over here.
What's that there, finished files to it?
There you go, you can have that
I'm
pile.
not passing beyond, I
That's-
got
I'm
in
done
trouble
with that.
last time.
So the
Here, why
reimbursement
don't you sign
form,
that, wait.
That he went to the level 2 academy.
oh, okay, so he's going to the
Sure.
academy,
Why don't you
yep,
sign
just
that?
curious.
Yes.
Yeah, have you met Haven?
I'm
Have you seen Haven?
a big tall guy?
Yes, you've seen him.
Yeah, okay, yes,
No,
I have
that's-
not officially.
No.
That's
Oh,
DJ,
What?
that's
oh,
DJ, so Haven, you'll know because when he shakes your hand, it literally will fold in half.
Okay.
He's very strong, so
Okay.
just tell him to be gentle.
oh, I,
Homestead, they bill us once a month, is that what they do, Lisa?
Yes.
July, okay.
Yep.
Oh, you know,
Hey.
Homestead, so, I know, what's that?
Minutes.
A minute.
I know you asked, I saw that you asked for the contract at Homestead, did that come?
I got
somewhere?
it,
Yeah.
yep,
So
Okay.
does
Lisa
that
sent it right
include-
over.
So does that include, yeah, no, she's efficient. Does that include the, I noticed that well, coming up from Manchester, the planter, the Winhall
That's a
sign.
sign.
Yeah, there's a planter in it, but that's not done. Does it include that?
They haven't done the planters here either yet, so I don't know.
Well, is it in the contract?
Tammy was hoping to have it done by the 4th of July, but she wasn't sure.
They were great, they did the bridge and they did the
Yeah,
wall.
I think they're gaining.
Or no,
Yeah.
they did, I think this afternoon they did the planters out here. When I came back,
Who
I think
wants
they were
to,
done.
this goes to you.
Oh, yes.
Minutes.
Look out the window, Stuart, can you see them?
Yeah, they're hanging, I can see them.
Those they did yesterday, but then they didn't have
There
the
are,
tops.
there are plants in the planters by the
Okay,
front
great.
door.
So that's still
they're
my,
gaining on
so
it.
my question was though, is that part of it?
I can't tell you that.
Yes,
Cause I know, I think Julie used to
I
just
think-
do them,
I
just did them.
it's part of the contract.
It is part, okay, that was my question.
Thank you.
And I just wanted to say, Jacqueline Schwartz, is part of our emergency, team now, and that's great, and
Oh, yeah,
I'm glad she's
EMT.
getting her, the money back, the family's getting their money back, the family. But
Yeah.
yes, I'm very excited for her.
No, she's good, she's great, she's.
Have
guess
we
I didn't
used,
ask
have we
Jackie.
used the owl for any other meetings? I know we're doing it here because the folks from GNAT are here, thank you for coming. But it hasn't worked real well. You tried running it one night and it kept
I've seen
shutting
those.
off.
No,
Yeah.
well, I
Yeah.
have to change a setting, cause you kinda, if you go over an hour or whatever,
is
the
that one?
computer starts to think no
Cause
one's
you said
there.
it went out,
Yeah,
right,
so I just
stopped.
started back up again, but now that I
Okay.
know that, you can just touch
You
it.
can
So-
change it, like, can you change it to
Yeah, to not shut off
not
after.
shut off?
It's
Yeah,
like that
cause
for
what I'd
safety.
like to have happen is what we tried last time, which is like, let's do it simultaneously and just see.
And
'Cause
see
it
how it
also-
works.
Yeah, cause it also does this whole thing,
There was a transcript, it would probably be pretty cumbersome to turn it into minutes.
Yeah.
I'm not saying we
There
should
is
change
a
that, but we should at
type
least see what it
Yeah.
will do. Okay,
well, it'd be good to reference it against the minutes, you know,
Yeah.
because it's theoretically accurate, of course, it's gonna have all my
We have
bullshit.
no more pows, right?
I think.
Did you
Oh, I
see
didn't look at this.
You
Casella?
haven't seen Casella?
Yes.
You did?
Oh, I look,
I haven't seen
yeah,
that.
I always look over Scott's shoulder too, with that.
Yeah.
With these little lines, this ruler.
Hey, Lisa, the, benefit form for the PT.
Oh, I already saw this file, I already did this file.
Well,
Oh, you did?
after
Okay, well,
July
then
1,
you
it's
go-
just
well,
for
We
Did
got
you?
one more coming.
You did
It's not
that one.
for non-employees.
And this, so
It's
you
only
can,
for police
well, you
officers.
can wait till we make a motion.
Because it was only ever
There's
just for
five,
employees,
there's 5 lines on there now.
not elected officials, because elected officials don't sign the personnel policy. So it is after July 1, just for police officers.
And what if it was done before July 1? Just not handed in?
Well, I don't, are you an employee though?
No?
No. So the personnel policies are only applicable to employees. So if it was,
So Pat's been busy.
What was
I
that?
don't know.
What was that about?
Jacqueline, think?
The PT test,
Yeah,
that was, formally, so it's only for police officers, no one in highway or transfer can do it?
Now, yes, now,
Where'd you go?
but it always only was
Oh, these are the
for-
list of the.
This is
invoices.
the list.
Okay,
What we
this
do.
is-
Where did you-
got it, thank you.
Sometimes I have to go through
Is that
it
in here,
just
Beth?
because I'm
We'll-
like.
we'll make it
what
official.
is
Yeah,
this?
because you look at all of them.
I
Yeah, yeah.
never, I mean, we've had that
Beth
for
and
a long, long
Yes.
time, and
I need
it
email.
wasn't-
I don't, I
Well,
don't know what they're
this,
using.
so there's gonna be Beth at,
So-
there's gonna be Stacy at
Have you not gotten paid in
Winhall.org.
the past for that?
Is that how it will work?
So
Well, they have
why
to
would
come
it
from
change
Lissa.
now?
How,
He received it
I'll ask her
one,
in a
when,
minute.
I've been
So I have
doing
to
it,
sign
twice
Yes.
a year.
Got it.
Where
for-
did you see that,
Probably not
Beth?
in red.
Where
Thank
did
you.
you see that
a
invoice?
couple years
The invoice
maybe.
for,
Yeah,
Jacqueline?
Yeah.
That's in
3
there.
years.
in
So
here?
if it was
Somewhere
going
like-
through
Is it in here?
Payroll.
payroll,
Thank you very much.
I didn't
I'll
take
remember
over
not to bring a
payroll
red.
till
Just what I had.
last year.
Sometimes it's helpful.
But the personnel policies are very
I've
clear
seen
that it's
it.
just
That,
for employees,
uh,
and it always said that, so if you were
Yeah,
getting
I
it
can look in
before
there,
that,
but I don't know, never mind, names.
No,
It was
I just always make notes, keep it in
maybe
my
a-
punch it, and put it in my binder.
courtesy, or not,
Oh, I see, it's all of them stapled
So
together.
I have a question, so how do we classify Alexander? Because he's not elected in his position,
But
and he
isn't,
receives a paycheck, so
Isn't
shouldn't
he
he be an employee?
isn't he your employee though?
I don't have a business. You guys pay him, he gets a paycheck,
he was never hired by the select board though.
but he's
Right.
hired by the town.
He was not hired by the select board, so he
So-
is not an
so-
official employee.
So what is he,
He's an
besides good help?
The
Assistant
vet.
elected official. officially, he's an assistant elected official.
So did you guys hire him as the assistant treasurer? You hired him as the assistant for,
Are we not paying him?
for
He's getting
delinquent,
paid.
So Bill, so you were doing the bills, I asked about the PT test that was open to employees to pass the physical fitness test and you receive a bonus.
Oh.
Yeah, but it was always only
we
open
used to
to
have that
employees, and he's not an employee.
under your delinquent tax collector? Didn't you hire him as a Debbie's assistant under that? Cause she works for you for that? I mean, to
was-
get clarification on that?
He was never hired as an assistant treasurer. The
I don't know. what you're
delinquent
talking about.
tax collector, you are not delinquent tax collector. You are not the assistant delinquent tax collector.
No, assistant,
There is no
treasurer.
assistant delinquent tax collector.
No.
The assistant
Okay.
treasurer is still elected,
Right.
so you're
Oh.
still an elected official.
All right, so you've been getting paid so far.
Yeah, it's a
So
PT, it's
the
a-
PT test was every 6 months, if you passed it, you received a bonus.
Only
Okay.
employees should have gotten that bonus, is what I'm saying.
Okay, so.
What's the test like? We used to, I mean, Dennis used to have a
It was
program.
not that.
Oh.
It's the police academy standards.
You're on
Oh,
payroll.
because Dennis had a program, a health
Volunteer,
program.
As a paid employee, like, I don't get that.
He's not an employee though, he's an.
Well, he's getting a
elected official.
paycheck.
Yes, but all elected officials get a paycheck. So,
Wasn't aware of that.
But, no, and he's
Right.
not elected in his position, he's not even elected as the election official.
He's the assistant of an elected official, of 2 elected officials.
But the elected official hired
Or
as.
appointed him.
Right.
right, the select board did not.
Can we get a clarification as to how we should handle this for the next meeting?
What, you want to ask VLCT?
Well, I think we gotta get a clarification to proceed correctly here so that we.
So
get it squared.
you could ask VLCT how,
And what do I ask exactly?
if assistant elected officials are employees for PT purposes.
Is that okay if we,
I mean,
so we can get a reading on it? Cause this is new territory.
How did you do on the PT test? I guess that would
Did
be
you
my
pass the
question.
PT
Oh,
test?
did you do it?
Okay. So you wouldn't talk about it if you didn't pass?
What does it involve?
I'm sure you
What
would
does it
pass.
involve?
Push-ups, sit-ups,
Oh,
bench
Running.
press, rowing, running.
You don't do it, Bill.
I'm all for it.
I
I'm
know.
all, and heart attacks are part of that?
And it's every 6 months, so when I did it.
Heart
Monday,
attacks,
which
part of
was
that?
6
We're ready to come in.
So I
You
have,
As long as you keep those code things near me, I'll do it.
Your daughter is qualified now, so don't worry about it.
That's right.
Excuse me, Stacy's got something.
when I went through the contract, and I don't even know if I'm allowed to talk about Dusty's contract, but when I went through his contract, that was part of it. He was allowed to do that physical
Right, because
test.
he's an employee. He's a
Oh,
hired-
okay,
he's an hired employee.
I guess I'm having
This-
trouble understanding employee versus.
Well, that's why we're gonna ask
Okay,
VLCT what
I
I'm
think
trying to clarify.
we've
Yeah.
gotta try to get a
Yeah,
read
no
on it.
problem.
It does, you know, right.
But you said that it was only for the police.
Yeah, after July 1, because really no one else takes advantage of it, so we just clarified, because the standards, you're using a different standard, right?
We're using,
It's
right now we're using the Cooper
the
standard.
Cooper standard. The Cooper was not what was in place in 2021 when we
It
did the
is.
personnel
It's the
policy.
same, yeah, it's the same, system,
Same system?
same standards.
So now because they're not
It is
taking
different.
advantage of it,
Where
they
do you
can't?
do it?
Wasn't it at one point
Where did you
just
do
the
it?
police
In the basement,
academy
in the gym.
standards for
Oh.
entrance examination?
So,
I'm kind of
in 2020, I believe is when we
No,
started
but
it.
if there's some.
Okay, just a second, we got too many conversations going.
In 2020 is when we started it, I recommended it. It began for every, I don't know, employee, however, but everybody that was employed by the town was able to take advantage of it. We had some people take advantage of it right off the bat. Alex and a couple of others, I remember Trevor taking it, Jody attempting,
John as well.
John, yeah, absolutely. And the standards that we used then were called the Cooper standards, which included a 1.5 mile run in a certain amount of time, push-ups in a minute, sit-ups in a minute, and a bench press based on sex and age.
Okay.
So if they passed it at the 50th percentile, which is what the academy uses to pass the academy, your PT test for the academy, Since then, they have changed their PT standards, which are actually much lower than the Cooper standards that we use. But we've stuck with the.
I'd like to go to a 100-yard walk instead of a mile and a half, and maybe I would.
Whatever you sign for that.
Yeah, I'm gonna do it.
As long as it's an increase.
So
Yeah,
just
100 walk is my,
as a point of information, so
Yeah.
when somebody says, I'm gonna do this,
Yeah.
there's somebody, is monitoring that?
Yeah, we do it, yeah, they have to do it with the partner, we sometimes do
Okay.
it all together, yeah.
Scott, I'm sorry I waited so long. You probably forgot what you wanted to say.
He wants to do it, he's an employee.
Go for it.
No, I mean, there are other things too, if you read the employee policy, that, you know, the employees, the rest of us are able to put in for and things like that. I mean, it's not, I mean, just because it changed after July 1st, I would have to agree that most of the employees outside of the police don't take advantage of it. But, that being said, and I get it, I'm gonna be a little biased here and I don't really give a shit. When I had Al working at the transfer station, when nobody else would work during COVID, you guys told me to go ahead and hire him, but he was never considered an employee because there was no friggin' letter of hire on file. This kid has been jerked around by this town so many times, it's ridiculous. And he's a good young man. You're not gonna, you think the help is out there in the woods,
No,
just
there
waiting,
isn't.
and it's not. But yet, you have somebody that's willing to work for this town, regardless of his capacity, and whether it fits into your cookie cutter mold policy, you should either revise the policy, make something different that does stand up for our people that are like Al, assistants that get hired by different people, but then
Which is
Because
why you couldn't keep hiring him at the transfer
That's right.
station because
that's
he
right,
wasn't.
even though you guys verbally told me I could hire him, because there was
Well-
no letter of hire, he was not considered an employee. But yet the state of Vermont says, if somebody is on your payroll, they're an employee.
We
Okay.
did do a temporary letter of hire when he was hired for COVID because there was no
But
funding
he
for
was there
it.
before COVID.
But it was
He used to
temporary.
fill in for Jody and I when we would go to the
State things.
thing in New Hampshire.
I spent-
Because they told me I could hire him for that.
That was 2014, May.
Yeah.
All right, let's.
Well, let's see what VLCT
let's
says, and then
let's get it squared away.
And then we can
I'm
also
sorry.
change the policy
All right.
Say it
I would
covers-
like to revisit that for sure, cause I think
Yeah.
after you get some clarification on
Yeah, well, let's say
that
it may be
you're
covered, they may come back and say, it's all good the way it is.
Or
If they
Or
say
we
it's not,
change it
then we
to what
change
it's
the
gotta be.
policy. 'Cause,
All right.
I mean,
can,
Scott's got a
can
good
we hold
point.
off till next meeting and try to get that squared away? I'm
Yeah.
sorry.
Yeah. And I actually didn't realize that it had been changed to police only, because then it does take it away from, the highway
Takes away from
and the
all of
transfer
us.
station.
Okay.
I guess and I obviously won't vote on this because obviously Al's my son, but I think we should encourage people to be healthy.
Yeah, 100%,
And the other
that's why
thing
we.
is, are the employees still allowed, are we still allowed to use the gym downstairs? I mean, are we gonna change that too, that that's only gonna be for the police? Or Meg comes here every night to work out, she's an employee, but, you know, is that the next thing we're gonna get chopped out from under us?
No, I don't.
No, I think we're going the other way, which is it's good to support healthy things, so let's just see if it's already supported or if
And
we have to
and if we
change
do
it.
something at the firehouse and get a workout station there, we'll have a bigger room to work in.
Very good.
Well, and the other
If you
and the
pass
other
it,
thing,
you're
not
there
to toot Al's horn, but he does odd jobs all over this town for anything you guys want him to do. He will hang photos. He will go and fix doors or locks for Scott, or adjust windows, or whatever. And I think that's a good person to
Yeah,
make sure
absolutely.
we don't lose.
Let's.
I don't think it's just all about Al, excuse
No.
me, I'm sorry to
No.
interrupt, but I think it's about everybody being excluded from this. Not that anybody's taking advantage of it, but if they don't have the opportunity all
Right,
at the
but
same time.
the appointed people always get left out in the cold. I was in the cold for a long time
Right, but we're
before.
also saying that July 1st it was
Yeah.
police only, and that
Right,
probably needs
that's,
to change.
that's what
Yeah.
I am
I-
concerned with.
I actually encouraged Meg the other day to start training for it.
Well, I also think that there's a difference between full-time and part-time, and my main issue with that is our health benefits for a family cost $40,000 a year now? So like hiring, you know, for every, or 38, I can't remember, the bill wasn't in here, every time it's a shock. So like, when we have to, that's why we were so specific with Christie. Because when you hire
Right,
somebody
part-time,
full-time, we're incurring another 40 grand on top of it, you know, for somebody who is getting full family coverage.
Which is why I came to you guys and said I don't need another full-timer, I can do this with a part-timer to try to help that.
Right, I'm just bringing the issue up
But
of,
we're also a municipality, the only thing you guys have are employees. It's not like you buy product and have overhead and sell product. So your expense is always gonna be your employees, and we understand that. But you're always gonna have health insurance costs, you're always gonna have that because your municipality is employees. And I know
absolutely,
it's
but
expensive.
in my whole entire career, and I have never had my health insurance covered at
But that was your
100%.
choice, Julie.
No, I totally don't think we shouldn't, but I'm saying it is a very rare benefit that we offer.
Well, Bagel Works, you can go there and start for $23 an hour, get full medical if that's what you need.
They will pay 100% of
100% Full
medical.
medical, the only thing you don't have right now is any time retirement.
Bagel, oh, and all the bagels you can eat.
Most all your
And
businesses-
family coverage
Most
too.
all your businesses right now are moving for full medical because they cannot find anybody to work, and that is the one thing that most people are looking for. Most all businesses are starting to move into that model.
I've never seen one offer full family,
Well,
100%.
We're
I'm
not
just
gonna solve-
saying.
We'll try to revisit this at the next meeting after we get some answers. We'll try to get this straightened out, okay? I'm sorry.
I
All right,
just,
Actually,
any-
Ivy works for the state does.
Okay, is there anything
your
else
coverage
to
is
come?
100%.
Me and my kids until they turn 26, which they did, so.
I just have one thing, you, Alyssa, I assume you're gonna create emails, just because some stuff is sensitive, so Al and I share an email downstairs, so I can't have anything going to that email.
It'll just be like Beth@winhall.org.
Perfect.
Yeah, Stacy@winhall.org, yes.
Okay,
that's
cause
right.
Lucia was
Right.
asking, and I told her that's not
Or
something
just
we
what?
created ourselves.
No, they-
We have to go through our
I have
IT
to
company.
just add them to my group.
Yeah.
And, what I do is, the minutes.
Yeah, that's how it'll be, but you won't know it's up and running till Alyssa says it's up and
It's up
running.
and running, yeah.
Okay. Anything else come for the meeting? Any other business we gotta deal with?
Just one follow-up, I was, because Stacy doesn't have always great internet at her house, I was gonna offer for her to use my office downstairs for, if she wanted to come in and read stuff, copy stuff, whatever. I have no problem with her going in my area, and so I wanted to offer that.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah, my
And Scott will do-
Fidium is not reliable.
Scott said he had
You
an
don't have good
extra.
video?
They won't come and fix the lines.
That's weird, I have Fidium and it actually, I switched from Comcast to Fidium.
I have great service when I have it, but
Huh.
they wanted to bury the line because where they put it,
Yeah, me too, mine's
when
better.
when we plow our driveway, we always hit it. So
Yeah,
we asked
okay.
them to come bury it, and I just can't get somebody to come out and
Huh.
properly.
We have a phone number we can call.
Yeah,
Okay.
there's a communication. We're supposed to have last mile
Oh, good to know.
internet.
Okay, that's great. I just
Well, we'll have to get back to you on that, but
No problem.
we can go up the chain a little bit further.
okay, awesome. That would be wonderful.
I called them about some wires that hung,
Yeah,
that were
cause they
hanging
come
low.
in to tell us they were coming.
They've been,
down.
Okay.
they've been hit again since then, when it gets torn down on,
They re-
Raspberry Hill,
They redid
they'll
my,
fix it, but I've told them
when I
several
redid my
times,
driveway last
haven't we,
year,
Yep.
Derek?
got dug
We've
up
told
and ripped apart,
Okay.
and then they
That's-
had
that would be
Fidium
wonderful.
several times about those wires on
My kids would
Raspberry
really
Hill.
like that.
But what bothers me is somebody's gonna hit them and it's gonna damage their vehicle, cause it's gonna take down poles and everything, and they just haven't seemed to. Yes, Dean?
I just wanted to say that, the education bill has been
Oh,
passed
yeah.
and signed into law. Governor signed it the other day.
And what does that do for us?
The next step is redistricting. There's a redistricting task force. There'll be 11 people, we don't know who's on it. They're going to decide the entire map of the state.
Oh,
And
boy.
who gets put where with who, whether or not they're districts or supervisory unions, so whether or not we'll be allowed to remain non-operating is on the table. So all that's to be determined.
19 to like 5,
So,
Yeah,
so we'll probably be,
What did you say?
Hook-
19
They,
districts that
they
do
decided
5.
on the
so we'll
5.
probably be hooked up to Mount Tabor or something, you know?
yeah, we actually, they haven't settled on a number yet, so we don't know how many districts. We don't know if they're going to allow supervisory unions or if they're only gonna be districts. Right now, what
I don't
actually
know
we're
what we voted
doing
on.
is we're trying to make sure that at least one person on that task force is, comprehensive, has a comprehensive understanding of how non-operating work. Because this is a problem we've run into every single time we have to give testimony to the state, is that they understand how their operating districts work, how budgeting works, how public schools work, but they don't understand how we generate a tax rate in a non-operating district. So we're fighting really hard to make sure that somebody on that task force has a background in non-operatings. So that's our mission at the moment, and as soon as we have more info, we'll let you guys know.
Thank you.
Thank you, Dean.
I don't know, I need a motion to pay the bills tonight.
Make a motion to pay the bills as
Motion was
presented.
made
Second.
and seconded. Any other discussion on the bills? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Okay. All right. Nothing else? We're
I
gonna-
got something totally irrelevant.
No,
to
sorry.
Well, it might be useful to someone. I found it useful. So I was in Price Chopper in Manchester, and there's a new machine. I thought the guy was doing coins or something, and I look at it. You know what it is? No. So I mean, I have like probably, I don't know, 10 or 12 old iPhones. It takes them. It takes them. It's this machine in Price Chopper, and pays you. If it's really old, I mean, 2007, they give you like, I guess, like $20 or something, but they're sitting in a drawer in my house. So, it's
good to
relevant
know.
at least to Julie. Thank
So-
you, Julie.
Scott?
No, I'm interested.
Oh, I thought you raised your hand.
No, because I take cell phones, but I don't pay you for them, they just go.
Okay.
to recycle.
Well, I'm probably not gonna go over because I'll probably put my good one in it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm telling you that.
All right.
that
I need-
Who wiped the data from those?
it's a
Make a
little
motion
machine.
to adjourn.
Motion been made
I second.
and seconded to adjourn. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Thank you.
Welcome,
I-
if I forgot to say, I can't remember.
I wipe
They